Hello and welcome to Total IELTS. Peter here, and in today's lesson I'll be looking at Academic Writing Task 1, how to describe the main features and make comparisons. The samples I'll be using are diagrams showing trends and maps. Here's the diagram showing trends, and this is from a Cambridge IELTS past paper. And the one showing maps, showing the changes from 1995 until today. After you write your introduction and overview, it's time to describe the main features and compare them. The structure for your academic writing task 1 should be the same for every diagram type. In paragraph 1, it's your introduction. That's a paraphrase of the diagram description and the overview. Paragraph 2 and 3 is a description of the main features with comparisons. The instructions for every academic writing task 1 are the same. You summarize the information by selecting, reporting the main features, and make comparisons. When it comes to selecting the main features, it's different for every type of diagram. Samples for every question type, how to select, report the main features and make comparisons, can be found on the website. For the diagrams showing trends, the main features are the greatest increases and decreases, and also any information that remained unchanged. Here, for example, the standout main feature, the most obvious one, is the dramatic decrease in the rate of burglary from 2004 to 2008. For maps, the main features are the greatest changes, and also any features that remained unchanged. Here, for example, in the map, the main feature in the northeast corner is the replacement of the farmland and forest park by leisure facilities, specifically golf and tennis. When describing the main features, it's important to avoid minimum scores in the task achievement criterion. You will be awarded a band 5 if you recount details mechanically. This means students try to describe or list all the main features in the diagram, or as many as possible, one after the other. With some diagrams, it's just not possible to do this because there's too much information. The recommended time limit is 20 minutes and you only need to write 150 words, so trying to recount every detail is just not possible. Instead, focus on the main and secondary features only and make comparisons. Don't try to list as many as you possibly can. Band 5 is also awarded in task achievement for no data to support the description. Compare these two sentences. A says there was a sharp increase in the burglary rate from 2003 to 2004. And B says there was a sharp increase in the burglary rate from 2003 to 2004, from 3,400 to 3,700 incidents approximately. So sentence B has a more complete description with the data. So always include the data when describing the main features. This is for diagrams with statistical information. Band 5 is also given for inadequately covers main features. Inadequately means did not describe the main features, but instead describe lesser features, or did not describe all the key features for certain types of diagrams. Band 4 is awarded for parts may be irrelevant. This happens when students give reasons or opinions about the diagrams. Task 1 is a formal, impartial report, so never give your opinion or reasons for any information in the diagram. Stick to the facts only. And 4 is also awarded for parts may be inaccurate. This happens when students give the wrong data, so study the diagram carefully. When you do describe the numbers or the data, double check that they are accurate. Some diagrams it's not possible to be 100% accurate, so use approximately or roughly when the data isn't clear. After selecting the main features, you need to report and compare them. And when you do compare them, we use cohesive devices. Cohesive devices are linking words or words and phrases that we use to compare and contrast the information in the diagram. These are graded in the coherence and cohesion criterion. To achieve a band 7, you need to use a range of cohesive devices appropriately. Range here means you use a variety of linking words, not the same ones again and again, and appropriately means using them correctly. The linking words for diagrams are used to compare and contrast, for example, in comparison, compared with, etc., and to contrast, however, even though, in spite of. So let's go back to our samples for describing and comparing the main features. And here in the diagram describing trends, these two main features can be described and compared. Here, circled in blue is the increase, and circled in red is the dramatic decrease. We can say after an initial increase from roughly 3,400 to 3,800 from 2003 to 2004, there was, in contrast, a significant decline in the burglary rate from 2004 until 2008, from nearly 3,800 incidents to 1,100. For maps, let's compare and describe the main features. And as I said before, the most standout feature here is the changes in the northeast corner. So we can say the most noticeable change to Seville since 1995 was the construction of a golf course and tennis courts that have replaced the forest park and agricultural area. And in summary, Academic Writing Task 1, describing and comparing the main features of a diagram. The instructions are always the same. You need to select, report the main features, and make comparisons where relevant. When it comes to selecting the main features, every diagram type is different. For a full list of all the diagram types, with examples of how to describe and compare the main features, go to the website. When describing the main features, be aware of and avoid the minimum scores in task achievement. Don't try to describe every main feature. You just don't have enough time, and it's not an IELTS requirement to do so. In fact, you will actually be penalized. Always include data with your description for the diagram showing statistical information. Describe the main features and not the lesser ones. Never give reasons or opinions in your description. Don't say why there was an increase or why there were changes, for example, in a map. And always give accurate data. When you do quote numbers, double check them in the diagram to make sure they're accurate. Use words like approximately or roughly when you cannot know the exact numbers. And you need to compare your main features using a variety or range of linking words to compare and contrast.